Okay, so now we're headed to the pre-March walk, doing some good trouble.
That's right.
Did you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Colby.
Colby.
That's about all.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for y'all. And we're here. We're not here on behalf of anybody necessarily, except for ourselves as individuals. But we're here. I'm here to learn. And I'm excited for... Still getting the hang of this thing.
It wants me too much.
But yeah, we're here to just enjoy the people, the time. It's nice weather outside, riding through the streets of DC, Northeast specifically. Now we're on Rhode Island Avenue. Not too far away from, we're actually about to pass the Capitol building. We're about to pass North Capitol Street. NPR buildings on that street that they have all the tiny desks at. That's my biggest claim to fame, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah. That I live like walking distance to where they did the tiny desks. But it's actually crazy because I don't think I told you, but like I got punished for living here. I only lived here to work at the Treasury, and when the school found out, they like changed my tuition out of state. So like that's why I couldn't take any classes my senior year, my second semester of my senior year, because they found out, they audited this is North Capitol Street. But
That's screwed up.
I mean, it's totally fucked up.
Yeah.
I have a professor. He's like a PhD student. He went through the same stuff. He was actually homeless. He was couch hopping, and they audited him, and because he wasn't able to prove that he lived without a doubt in Maryland, even though all the freaking couches that he hopped up to were in Maryland, they charged him out of state, and he had to take out extra loans, and he was already going couch to couch. So it's just like you're really trying to put people under the ground.
Yeah.
And that's just capitalism.
That is capitalism. It is sucking us dry.
Yeah, it's hurting the people that
need help.
Yeah, and the ones that we expect to go on and because he was teaching me,
Yeah, right?
I was just watching a podcast about that, like how people are supposed to be able to, I mean, this concept of like pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, but not even that, like,
I mean, he's the giver, like he's given knowledge.
Exactly. How professors are supposed to be able to give out good and he's my favorite professor out of the entire school. And to think that like at a point while he was teaching me, without a doubt, he was homeless. And I'm just in school and I'm learning about all types of stuff. Like I'm learning about Black history that's not really Black history. I'm learning about like economics, but just the white version of economics, not a single Black person in the whole curriculum. And now faculty and staff are coming to Black Lives Matter looking for like a pat on the back because they are incorporating Black economists, Black architects, this and that, but it's like these people have always existed and it should not be for the sake of this movement necessarily, because I understand looping us in, that's what we asked for, like for people to tell us when they're doing stuff so we can amplify it, but it's like people are like individually like, yeah, and I'm looking to add it's just very performative. Adding Black people into your curriculum is a step. I don't even know if it would be considered the first step. Like I don't know. Like, there are people out here that are teaching Black this, you saying that
you hadn't done it before, it's the first step.
That's true. It is a step. I just feel like, and I'm no one to judge the steps, but I feel like
you are.
Baby steps that might be something that I caught, because it's like, at the end of the day, I'm in an amazing spot where I can openly say we're looking for large-scale change at the school because we haven't got it before. Like, other people have tried and they couldn't get it. So obviously, we had to do something different. And so that's fun, being allowed to do something different, which is so crazy because Good Trouble is doing stuff even if you're not allowed to do it. So the fact that I'm still talking to administration about the things that we may or may not do is kind of like...
It's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, I'm giving them way too much information.
Yeah.
Soon, I would like to just stop because I know that they only know about the stuff that we're doing because of me. I don't talk to other people that used to give them the information anymore. So it's like, at this point, Patty's still emailing me. She emailed me this morning about tuning into the live stream. So it's just like, they're gonna watch regardless. I told you, like, people from both administrators and people from SJ have my notifications turned on for my personal account, but they don't follow or have my notifications turned on for my business account. So it's like, I don't post anything about, I mean, I post about Black Trips Matter on my personal page, but like not overwhelmingly. And I know that they're tired. I retweet so much stuff about just being a Black woman, but I'm glad that they have, you know, my notifications turned on for that point. But I just don't like having people watch me. Like, I just don't think that I'm a public figure. I never asked to be a public figure. I never asked for anyone to come to my personal page, critique me about how I look personally, because I never.
It happens though.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
Yeah. Why? But it's because we have to know what it's like to be here. So this has to be something that we have to get away from. You know, sometimes if we don't realize things, you know, firsthand, it makes it really a lot harder to look at it as something like need to get away from that, especially when you just don't face it firsthand. So maybe, I mean, I have no doubt these are all things that I had to go through because I went through them. So it happened, so it obviously had to happen. I wish it would be like clearer to me sometimes though, like exactly. I wish that like I had like some glasses that could just be like, this is a type of resistance, and then I could just look away, just look somewhere else. Don't even go into that conversation with that person if it has no use for me, because people really want to waste my time. But not Colby. Colby's the best.
I do my best.
He's the best. And so now we're at DuPont.
This is where I went for the Pride March last year.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, over a year ago now.
I mean,
that was a parade.
Yeah.
That was not even a march. That was just a parade. That's
beautiful.
Let's just say.
Yeah, I remember I was in Detroit. It was like at the beginning of the summer, right?
Yeah, June, I think, or earlier in some cases, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to come to the one in DC, but I had to go to orientation in Detroit, so I ended up marching with my job actually at the one in Detroit. And then for my orientation, we went to New York, so I got to march in New York
that's the best.
I mean, it was so much. It was actually kind of rude in my opinion. Spike Lee has his Do the Right Thing. It's not a concert, but it's not a festival, because they don't actually have a lineup or anything. He literally just says, it's on this day every single year, every other year, just come out, and people just come. No one ever knows. So like, I went to that, but it was just on the same day as the Pride March, so I had to like run back and forth from Brooklyn to Manhattan, but it was a good time. I just wish it wasn't on the same day. I wish it was just one day apart, so people can enjoy both of their intersections and not really have to feel like they have to run back and forth from anything. But I mean, it was a lot of pride on the trains, at least that day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This past summer. And I mean,
like if you weren't wearing a tire or like a flag, like, what you doing?
Yeah.
What you going in for?
Literally, where are you going right now? Where are you going today? Come join us. So here we are. I hate ramen, but I love this ramen bar right here. I know, I mean, I really can't say that I hate ramen. I usually hate all types of soup because I just don't trust it. But
soup in general?
Yeah, soup in general. I'm just not a soup person.
Oh, sorry.
I know, maybe I just need to really get some good soup, but I don't think I don't know. I've never had it. So I mean, I don't think it doesn't exist. I just have never had it. And like, I don't like mushrooms for sure. I say that I'm allergic to mushrooms. So like, if I can get a good soup that doesn't have mushrooms in it, yeah. But I like this place. I used to work over here on Donner Street. This place called Swahili Village. It's actually where I was working right before the pandemic. Yeah. That's where I got fired from. But
good times.
Yeah, good times. And they also never actually paid me. It's crazy. I mean, they paid me, but they did not pay me everything that they're supposed to pay me. And I gave them a lot of credit because I don't even know. At the end of the day, they're a business. It's a luxury. It's called Swahili Village. It's called the consulate location because it's so close to Ambassador Row. Literally, we had like the ambassador of Swahili come to like. Oh yeah, that is where we're supposed to be dropped off. Okay, no, my side. I was like, this does not look like it. But yeah, they had the ambassador Swahili come. I met the prime minister of Tanzania. I served him one time. Like all these people, and but they never paid me. They never really paid me. And it's so sad because I had a lot of experiences, and I left with some good tips. But as far as like the restaurant paying me, I think they owed me like $400. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I told them, I was like, hey, you know, I need this money, and they're like, here's $100. And I was just like, okay, but this is not me borrowing some money from you or anything. This is work that I've done, so like, why aren't you paying me? Like, that's kind of crazy. But yeah. it's just, that's just life out here. That's just the server life. I mean, just imagine. I mean, it's not like $400 was even that much money. I wasn't paying my freaking rent, but like, for them to only give me $100 ever, period, for working at your establishment for multiple, like. But they ended up closing down because of the pandemic. So I would never say good riddance to a black business, but they obviously did not know how to treat their employees. So like,
no.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Exploitation is not what we're going for across the board. So, but yeah, now we're getting further downtown. This is the Darcy. I've never been to this hotel before, but one day, a couple months ago, my cousin asked me to pick her up from a protest because she was scared. But I had already been to the same protest that she was at, and I came home, took a shower, and was laying in bed. So then I had to get back up, and I had to come to this hotel to pick her up because her phone was dying, and her phone was dead by the time I came to pick her up. It was a very bad situation for her to be in. And so I had to pick her up and drive her back to her car that was in some other very far away place. I was like, how are you expecting to get back here? And she was like, I thought we were going to be able to get an Uber. But I'm like, it was when we had curfew in DC, which is also just, I mean, when we had the curfews, that's just like another type of, I don't even think there's any current day words to talk about how terrible the curfew was. Like, literally, they put the curfew in effect. All the regular people went inside their houses, only the protesters outside, and they beat the protesters. They literally beat them. They kettled them, threw tear gas into the groups, like into the circles that they kettled people into. They were trying to run, and people were trying to go into the houses around where they were getting kettled. It's over by my house, mind you. This happened, and I had to see it on freaking IG Live because I was trying to do my summer class. But it's crazy because I would have been there, but I was like trying to do my homework. So it's just like the conflict. But I'm thankful too, like, because if people got arrested, people were trying to hide in houses, and the police were throwing the tear gas into the houses, the row houses around where people were trying to seek shelter. It's like, if they weren't wearing police badges and uniforms, what would this then be considered? That's all I want to ask. Like, literally throwing tear gas into a circle of people after they've forced the people to form into a circle and they can't get out. They literally cannot get out. That's just not humane. And it's like, they say that they want to like de-escalate stuff, but at the end of the day, if you keep people kettled for 3 hours, you don't let anyone get out. The people that do get out, you arrest them. What do you call that? Like, I just don't understand. Like, what is that called? And then people have this huge stigma that they can't talk about it. They can't record that they were there. It's talking about weeks later, federal offices are finding out that how to find people's t-shirts and use facial recognition to find them and charge them with federal charges after protesting. And then who do they talk to? Like, yeah, they can try and get a lawyer, but for real, these lawyers are only representing cases that they feel like they could get a good settlement out of the city of DC for, because they are giving out settlements. Like, it's not a bad idea. I won't lie, but that is not the reason that we're out here. It's not even close to the reason that we're out here. So I just feel like, and neither is, protesters being kettled. That's not why we're out here either. I mean, that's not even close to why we're out here either. It's just like, I still haven't seen them talk about the real issues on the news. Like, I haven't seen them talk about the homelessness issue. I haven't seen them talk about substance abuse. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm still waiting for us to get to this point, but now we're at the Human Rights Campaign building, and yes, thank you so much. Did you want to be in my video? Did you want to say hi? Yeah, okay. And now we're getting out of the car. Thank you, Colby. And I'm gonna put this away now, but we're here. That's a big afro pic that they have, and that's the Human Rights Campaign. We're downtown DC. Okay.
All right, let's do it.